Donald Trump announced that he is inviting Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan to participate in the G20 summit in Miami in December 2026. The US president shared this on December 23rd after phone talks with the presidents of the republics Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and Shavkat Mirziyoyev. Trump wrote on his social media,
"Next year, the United States will be hosting the G20 summit, and we will send invitations to both leaders to join us as guests at this very important event, which will take place in Miami."
The American leader described Washington's relations with Astana and Tashkent as excellent. According to information published on the X platform by the press office of the president of Kazakhstan, a significant part of the conversation between Tokayev and Trump was devoted to the war in Ukraine.
During the discussion, there was a substantive exchange of views on the bilateral agenda and key international issues, particularly the situation in Ukraine. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev noted the complexity of resolving the Ukrainian conflict, emphasizing that the territorial issue remains central and requires compromises from all sides, taking into account the realities on the ground.
Astana's statement about the conversation on December 23rd said that Tokayev acknowledged the outstanding leadership qualities of the American president and invited him to Kazakhstan for a state visit. In November, Donald Trump invited the leaders of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan to the White House and organized the Central Asia Summit. At that time, Tokayev called Trump a great statesman sent by the heavens to restore common sense and traditions to U.S. politics. Traditions, he said, that we all share. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko is also in the focus of the United States. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, more than a dozen current and former American and European officials maintain an unofficial channel of communication with the Belarusian president in the U.S., and he has become an integral part of negotiations aimed at ending the war. Washington has already eased restrictions on Belarusian potash fertilizer producers and reached an agreement with Boeing to supply software and spare parts to the state airline Belavia. An additional bonus was the repair of Lukashenko's plane. Moscow lost another ally through its own fault. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev refused to go to Russia after Putin failed to fulfill his promises. Aliyev skipped the CIS leaders' summit in St. Petersburg, citing a busy schedule. This came as a surprise to the Kremlin. Just 2.5 months ago, Vladimir Putin and Ilham Aliyev said that the crisis in their relations had been overcome. At that same meeting, the Russian leader promised to punish those responsible for the crash of the Azal plane last December and to pay compensation to the victims. But in the end, Moscow did neither. Baku no longer believes Moscow's promises, the Azerbaijani press wrote. The decision of Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev not to participate in the informal CIS summit in St. Petersburg became a political move that the expert community unequivocally links to the Kremlin's failure regarding the crash of the Azal civilian plane. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev refused to go to Russia after Putin failed to fulfill his promises. Aliyev skipped the CIS leaders' summit in St. Petersburg, citing a busy schedule. This came as a surprise to the Kremlin. Just 2.5 months ago, Vladimir Putin and Ilham Aliyev said that the crisis in their relations had been overcome. At that meeting, the Russian leader promised to punish those responsible for the crash of the Azal plane in December last year and to pay compensation to the victims. But in the end, Moscow did neither. Baku no longer believes Moscow's promises, according to the Azerbaijani press. The decision of Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev not to participate in the informal CIS summit in St. Petersburg was a political move that experts unanimously linked to the Kremlin's failure regarding the crash of the civilian aircraft. Putin's press secretary Dmitry Peskov said that the Kremlin understands Aliyev's decision.
Indeed, all heads of state have very, very busy schedules, especially in December, on the eve of the new year. We continue to develop our partnership and constructive cooperation with Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan also continues to participate in all formats of cooperation.
Such a démarche by the president of Azerbaijan became evidence that the crisis in relations between the two countries has not yet been overcome. Putin himself expressed hope that the sides have turned the page and will move forward. During the meeting 2.5 months ago, Putin promised Aliyev that everything would be done on the Russian side regarding compensation and that a legal assessment would be given to the actions of all officials involved.
We agreed on this with you from the very beginning, to give an objective assessment of everything that happened and to identify the true causes.
These promises matched Baku's key demands to pay compensation and punish those responsible. However, over the past months, Moscow has not taken any public steps. There has been no information about progress in the investigation of the disaster, nor about prosecuting those responsible, nor about compensation payments.